The story you know about the White House is a myth, because the real danger began the moment George Washington stepped into a mosquito-choked swamp and ordered a palace for the nation's most powerful, built by hand, with deadly oyster shell mortar and molten lead. A house born hazardous, scarred by secret rituals, hidden foundations, and untold human cost. If you think America's most dangerous building is just a symbol, you do not know what is buried beneath. Here is what they never taught you about its origin. In 1792, George Washington stood ankle-deep in mud and made a decision that would haunt the country's builders for generations. He wanted the president's house on this swamp along the Potomac, where the air was thick with mosquitoes and the ground sucked at every step. The job fell to James Hoban, an Irish architect with a vision borrowed from Dublin's Leinster House. His reward was $500 and a gold medal, if he could pull it off. The first challenge was stone. Massive blocks of Aquia Creek sandstone, quarried by enslaved men and immigrants, were dragged from Virginia's wilderness and floated upriver. The stone was some easy to carve, but so heavy it took teams of oxen and men to move each one. Scottish stonemasons, masters of their craft, shaped every block and carved flowers into the walls, their hands raw from the work. The air around the site burned with the stench of oyster shells, cooked down to lime from mortar in roaring kilns. Workers coughed and sweated through clouds of caustic dust. For waterproofing, they poured molten lead between the stones, scalding and poisonous, but the only way to keep out the rain. The cornerstone was laid that fall, its exact spot lost to time, rumors swirling about secret rituals and missing records. By 1798, after 6 punishing years, the shell of the largest stone house in America finally stood. Every inch paid for in sweat, risk, and secrets buried deep in the mud. November 1st, 1800. John Adams steps into the president's house for the first time. The walls echo with empty and cold drafts slip through unfinished windows. Out of 36 rooms, only 6 are fit for living. The rest are raw plaster, bare floorboards, and dust. Paint clings wet to the walls. Fires burn in every grate, but the chill never lifts. Abigail Adams, wrapped in a shawl, writes letters by candlelight describing the bleakness. With no laundry room, she strings wet linens across the vast east room, turning the grandest space in the house into a drying yard. Buckets of water are dragged up from the well, one at a time. Every chore is a battle against the unfinished shell. There is no running water, no gaslight. Every meal is cooked over open flames. The White House is less a palace and more a construction site, with the president's family camped out in the middle. The Adamses live surrounded by scaffolding and the constant thud of hammers. Abigail's letters capture the weight of it, the loneliness, the rawness, the sense that history is happening in a place not yet ready for it. Then Thomas Jefferson arrives. He sees not just hardship, but opportunity. He orders new wings for ice, meat, and wine, bringing the first hints of comfort. In 1804, a water closet is installed, a small revolution. For the first time, the president does not have to walk outside in the dead of night. The White House is still unfinished, still fragile, but it is beginning to breathe. August 24, 1814. British troops march through the streets of Washington, red coats flashing in the summer dusk. The city's defenders have fled. At the president's house, British officers help themselves to the dinner Dolly Madison and her staff abandoned: roast beef, fine wine, silver platters left in a rush. The table is still set when the first torch is thrown. Flames race through the rooms, catching on curtains, swallowing portraits and books. The air turns black and choking. The sandstone walls, soft from Aquia Creek, glow red under the heat. The fire is so intense that the stone itself cracks and scars, splitting with sharp reports that echo through the city. A storm rolls in. The sky turns green. Winds howl, tearing roofs from nearby buildings. Rain pours in sheets, beating down the flames. Some say it was a tornado. Others call it divine intervention. Either way, the fire dies under the storm's fury. When the smoke clears, only the charred shell remains, roofless, gutted, open to the sky. The city is in shock. Some in Congress argue for abandoning Washington altogether, but the ruined house stands as a stubborn symbol. Workers return to the blackened stone, scrubbing at stains that won't come out. The scars of the fire run too deep, so they cover it, layer after layer, with thick white paint. For the first time, the president's house is truly white, a new skin for a building that refuses to die. James Monroe wanted the White House to shine again, not just as a symbol of survival, but as a palace worthy of a rising nation. In 1824, crews hoisted 30-foot columns into place for the South Portico, a curved stone balcony that would become the backdrop for generations of history. Every piece of the portico was a gamble. The sandstone, still quarried from Virginia, could crack under its own weight. But the columns held, and the White House gained an entrance fit for royalty. Just a few years later, the North Portico followed, transforming the building's plain front into the most photographed porch in America. Inside, the White House kept chasing the future. Gas lighting replaced the flicker of candles, filling the halls with a heavy, metallic air. The first telegraph wires snaked in by 1844, tying the president to the rest of the country in real time. Plumbing crept through the walls, finally banishing the old stench and buckets. Each upgrade brought more pipes, more wires, more weight pressing down on the old wooden skeleton. By the turn of the 20th century, the house was bursting at the seams. Theodore Roosevelt found the place so crowded he had to build a new wing just to escape the chaos. The West Wing, finished in 1902, was meant to be temporary. It never was. In 1909, President Taft demanded an office shaped like the Blue Room, a perfect oval with no corners to hide in. The resolute desk, carved from the timbers of a British ship, arrived soon after. But beneath the golden marble, the building was groaning. In 1927, engineers climbed into the attic and found the old timber roof rotting, beams splitting under the strain. They tore off the roof and replaced it with steel, hoping to buy a few more decades. The White House looked stronger than ever, but the danger was only getting harder to see. November 1948. A grand piano crashes through the floor during a White House reception, its leg splintering the boards and sending a jolt through the crowd. Engineers swarm the building, measuring walls that have spread more than 10 inches and floors that sag under their own weight. Every truck rumbling past on Pennsylvania Avenue shakes the house like a drum. Their verdict comes quickly. The White House is condemned, unsafe for any president, unsafe for any family. Harry Truman faces a choice: tear it down or save what he can. He chooses rescue. Crews rip out every floor, every wall, leaving only the battered stone shell. A bulldozer rolls through the Red Room, clearing 150 years of history in hours. In its place, workers pour concrete and raise a steel skeleton, anchoring the house to bedrock for the first time. The White House is reborn from inside out, its past nearly erased to keep the future standing. Beneath the familiar white columns, a hidden world stretches out of sight. During World War II, engineers carved a bomb shelter into the bedrock, the Presidential Emergency Operations Center, also called the PEOC. Its concrete walls are 7 feet thick, built to withstand the unthinkable. From there, a tunnel runs 760 feet east, connecting the White House to the Treasury Building. No sunlight has ever touched these corridors. In the 1960s, planners added the Situation Room, a nerve center where presidents receive real-time intelligence and make decisions that ripple across the globe. Bulletproof glass shields the rooms above, but the real defenses lie below. The majority of the White House's operational nerve system is underground, including bunkers, command posts, and escape routes, all engineered out of public view. The house above is a symbol. The machinery of power runs below, silent and unseen, designed by minds who never expected their work to be noticed. Today, every crisis and decision still echoes through these reinforced halls and hidden tunnels. The White House endures, not just as a relic, but as a living nerve center engineered for survival in an uncertain age. Power is never just what you see. Sometimes its true depths are underground.